Welcome to 1856 First Church, Pella, Iowa podcast. Well, it's August 5th. What a beautiful day here in Pella. It's so good to have our feet back on the ground in the United States of America. How you doing, Breanne?
I'm doing great, and welcome back. We're excited to have you.
It's really good. And, 81 degrees is about the standard temperature that we had in Uganda. But I heard while we were gone, you kind of roasted a little bit.
It was very hot, sweaty. It was very humid and very hot. But I thought we were in Uganda.
Well, Uganda isn't that hot because we're near the equator. And when you're near the equator, you don't get those extreme temperatures. And I don't know if you know this about the equator or not, but we were at two different places on the equator. Mm-hmm. And when you're north of the equator, your toilet flushes one way.
Okay.
And then when you're south of the equator, because of the magnetic field, the water goes the other way.
Okay.
It's a fascinating fact. But a lot of people in Uganda by the equator never know that because they have pit toilets.
Oh.
But I know that you would like those trivial pieces of information.
I'm very, very happy now that I know this. Thank you.
It'll be something you'll be talking about for days.
If I'm ever on Jeopardy.
Well, what a great Sunday we had.
It was a beautiful Sunday. It was great to have everybody back.
Yeah, and people that participated in the Ugandan worship services the last week, they participated in our worship service this week.
They did, and it was really nice just to have everybody.
Yeah, and the worship was awesome. And I know for us and our team, while the worship is great in Uganda, too many times we're just observing, clapping our hands because, of course, we don't speak the language. And so it was really great to be fully engaged.
Yeah, it was a great Sunday. The worship was awesome.
Yeah. And so what do we got going on for announcements before we introduce our special guests?
Yes, we don't want to keep that waiting too long. But yes, we only have a few announcements. As summer winds down, the 13th of August, we have our last family movie night of the summer.
At the Capri Theater?
At the Capri Theater.
Ladies, wear your capris to the Capri that night.
Yes, that is true. 6:30, and it's $4.
Yeah, you can't get a better deal. And you know what? It's VeggieTales. Now, I just want to say to everybody out there, I love VeggieTales. You might think it's juvenile and just for kids. Not at all. This is an intellectual exercise in biblical exegesis. And Jonah is a wonderful story, and nobody tells it like VeggieTales.
Nope, I agree with you.
So I encourage everybody to go and have a great time, eat your popcorn, and enjoy some great fellowship. What else do we got going on?
Well, we have, what doesn't say summer if you don't go to a baseball game?
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd.
That's right. But we are going to the iCubs. As my husband alluded to a couple weeks ago, we are not watching the First Church team, although you can still do that this summer. This is the iCubs.
And it's awesome. I love going to iCubs games. This is a Friday night, so there's fireworks. The fireworks alone are worth the price of admission. Now, folks, we need 50 people to go to get the discount rate.
Yeah.
So I know that there's 50 people out there that would like a wonderful Friday night at a great ball game.
Right.
And so get your tickets so that we can ensure our best possible price. And I'm just telling you, you're going to have a great, great time at the old ball game.
There's just something about hot dogs there. They just taste better, you know?
Well, they do, but they also have Italian beef there that's really, really good.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay, well, there you go. You guys can go
So
for
that's
the
the
food, if not
iCubs
the
game. What do we have next?
Okay, then as everybody so looks forward to is our fall kickoff.
Fall kickoff. I don't even like to talk about it too soon because that's the kickoff of our fall year in September. So that's just the 27th. Let's not talk about that anymore now.
Yes, that's coming up. So anyway, those are all I had for announcements.
And Sunday we have a church coming up, and we'll continue in our series on the Dear John letters, and we have a special guest this week. I'm just telling you, Jerry and Judy Donato's grandson Adam is going to be with us during the service, and I'm just going to leave it at that because he's got some good words to share. I'll be preaching. He'll have some good words to share. It'll be a great time in church.
Awesome. It's been nice to hear from our missionaries. So that's great.
Just wonderful.
It is. Well, speaking of missionaries, you came back with a team on a mission trip to Uganda.
Yes, we did. It was very, very good.
And how long were you guys there?
Well, we were there on the ground in Uganda 7 days. And basically, you take 2 days on either side and for travel. And I told the team on the way back, we added an extra day, but they weren't charged anymore for that day.
Well, that was kind of you. So what was the mission of this mission trip?
You know, mission trips can oftentimes be misconstrued between mission trips and service trips. So, a mission trip is for us as a church to send people over to let our missionaries know that we're partners with them. And so there is no project that we were doing. We weren't building anything because they don't need things built by us. They've got plenty of workers. So as I described it to our people going on the trip, this is a place for your heart to be opened, your heart to see what is going on in another place. How is the gospel being advanced? How do people live? And so we were immersed in this Ugandan culture in and around Masaka for these days. And some people said, you're only going for 7 days. I would say 7 days is plenty. And because I've still got things, and it's my second trip there that I'm processing through, and they all involve people. We experienced food and we went on a safari, which was really fun. But really, the essence of it is the relationships that you establish, the projects that you see, the unbelievable gratefulness of people for everything that we were able to partner with them by providing resources.
Yeah. And so this was just our church, First Church members that went.
Yeah.
And so you didn't go by yourself. You had a group that went with you.
Right.
So let's see. We had Karen Fitzsimmons that went, Don DeCock, and then Norah Zylstra and Kyle.
And you know what's amazing about Norah and Kyle?
Yes.
They're sitting right in the room with us. They're like Jell-O. They're wiggling so much to talk. And so, grateful that we can have the two of them come in and talk a little bit. And I'll just say to everybody right now, on the 17th of the month, after our morning worship, we'll have the whole team in front of church.
Okay.
They'll all be able to give some reflections. We'll have all our pictures right now. Ashley is producing a great slideshow with all of our pictures. So that's going to be the number one time that you can hear everything. But today we're privileged to have Kyle and Norah.
Yes, I pinned them down on Sunday and made sure that they could come in this week.
I thought you bribed us.
Oh.
You
what did I bribe
us?
you with? What did I bribe you with?
Well, I was more voluntold, I guess.
Yes.
My mom told me that I was going to be on this, and I had no idea. So
yes,
here I am.
I did talk to
Happy
the
to
house
be here.
scheduler. I did.
Okay.
Well, I found out on the whole trip to Uganda, Norah has been nothing but a yes woman. And that has been I've been very grateful for that. And that's the truth. She was a stellar traveler.
Awesome.
I would list her as one of the top 3.
Yes. When we saw your picture, when you guys first arrived, whoever took that, you were all smiles. And I remember showing my family, and my daughter goes, Norah looks great. She doesn't even look sleep deprived.
She did look great every day.
Thank you.
So I think it was good. So was this, Kyle and Norah, was this your first mission trip?
No, it was not. We both went on the Mexico trip last year then I went with my mom and my older brother.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Excellent. And I know, Pastor Bob, you have done Uganda now twice.
Yeah, this is twice for me in Uganda. And in terms of third world nations, I've been to Swaziland and South Africa and the Philippines. So, yeah, it's they have all grown my heart immensely. But I will be transparent and say I'm not one to run towards third world countries. Yeah, there's a lot of things that can make you feel uncomfortable.
Sure.
And I'm the first to admit that. But now that I've come back again, you can't replace the blessing that comes to you.
That's awesome. So with your, your trip and all of that, with the mission aspect, was there something that was particularly impactful as you were just talking there? Made me think that there was something that you're thinking of as you're saying that. What was your memory?
Are you sending this out to all of us, or are you asking me?
I want to ask you first, and then I'm going to ask Kyle and Norah.
Well, for me, now that this has been my second trip, and of course we've had a relationship with Pastor Samuel for, 7 years now, I think to see progress there, and just to walk over there and to meet people that you've already met, and to see their extreme love and appreciation for us. I mean, I truly feel, and this kind of overwhelmed me on this trip, that they're my brothers and sisters in Christ. And so many came up to me and just thanked me, and we're so appreciative that we're together. And of course, Kyle and Norah got to experience this too. Anytime you start speaking and you say, we love you, or First Church loves you, we want you to know that, they go kind of bananas. And, they're clapping. They're so, so grateful. And so, when we first pulled up into the compound where Samuel lives. Okay, it's Thursday morning. We got into our hotel at 4, slept a few hours, took our showers. We're driving in. The preschool kids are all there sitting in the that's where they still eat their lunch, even though their facility's like a block away. And they all start chanting Pastor Bob. Now, I got to tell you, this isn't a thing that my head's growing big about, like, I'm this celebrity. But for them, it was really big stuff. The only person they know is Pastor Bob.
Sure.
Okay, so they knew that Pastor Bob was bringing people. So, and they're chanting. And I mean, I remember what it was like to be a little kid waiting for my aunts and uncles to come over.
Sure.
For them, this was just really big stuff. And those little kids in that preschool that day, they blessed the socks off of me. And then we were back there about a week later for a morning to spend with them. And my mother used to say when she saw little kids, I just want to take them all home. Well, I tell you what, I wanted to take them all home because they're just, they're cute, but they're being taught to love Jesus right to their core. And it's beautiful.
That is beautiful. Okay, Kyle's kind of the quiet one over here. So what would you say, Kyle?
For me, I'm very highly a visual learner. So for me to go there and to see all of the projects that we've been a part of, whether it's bodas or roofs, just the building complex itself, it was just such a blessing for me to go and see those things firsthand.
Yeah, no, that's good. All right, Norah.
Well, what Pastor Bob and Dad just said were both very true to me as well. But one of the biggest things was seeing the people who don't have much, but they still love Jesus so much. They still love us, even though they never have met us. I guess they met Pastor Bob and Dawn before. But it was just really a blessing to see them. And one of my favorite phrases that they said to us was, "You're so welcome," when they first saw us. And first I was like kind of confused. I was like, okay. But then I figured out like, oh, they're just welcoming us in, and like they would always give us hugs. Thankfully, no kisses. Not much of a kiss person, but yeah, it was really special to see that, and truly a blessing. So
very neat. So I gotten these the church did. We got these updates from Pastor Bob. Yes. He enjoys recording the days, and so I and the church had a little privy into what you were doing. But maybe Kyle, could you kind of talk a little bit? How were the days? I understand that maybe you led a sermon potentially, or in some devotions.
I did a sermon or a message at Bethel Church, which is in Pastor Samuel's compound. That church is led by Pastor Alex, and Pastor Simon was there as well that day. So that was truly a blessing for me. I was not intending to do a message when I left, but in the devotion buildup, it talked about going to the mission area and getting to know the culture a little bit, see what the people have needs for. And in that devotional, they changed their message after they had spent some time with the people. And so it was good for me to not have something planned ahead of time, and that I was able to work through something that I had been working through in my head already, but just to put it down on paper and to work through it more was truly a blessing.
Wow. You just went ahead and jumped right in. I thought you had time to prepare prior to being there.
Well, I had a couple days.
Okay.
So.
Well, Kyle did ask before he left. He was proposed to either work with the kids or do you want to speak in a church? And he said, I want to work with the kids. And then when we got there, Pastor Samuel said, you're going to preach in a church. So
And I said,
it was,
okay.
as Norah said, he was voluntold.
Yes. And so, Pastor Bob, you also gave a sermon, right, at one of the churches?
Well, I gave many.
You gave many, okay.
Yeah, maybe more than I had planned on giving, but
Sure.
I was prepared. But yeah, on Sunday morning, Kyle did. I was so proud of him that he did Bethel, and Norah also brought words. And I can't tell you how much they want to hear from everybody. I mean, so it was just a treat. And then Don, he gave the message at Kentuza with Pastor Philip and Sarah. I had preached there the last time I was there, and I was so glad he got to go there because he actually saw that church last time. They've grown. They were taking an offering for more chairs that day. And even though they're still kind of in that phase of tarp walls, the tarp walls are bigger than they were even when I was there a year and a half ago. So I preached at the Masaka Christian Center, of which is there with the school. And I was just looking at some pictures today, actually going through some stuff, and we helped put that roof on that church. That was one of the first projects we did. And it really is quite an impressive building now. I mean, it's 2 stories tall. And it's big inside. I mean, there's nothing elaborate inside, but yeah, it was a real blessing to be there. There was a lot of people there that morning, and it's just a joy to bring the word.
That's neat. So, Norah, what was your experience when you got to share some words?
Well, we were driving to the church, and Pastor Bob, was it? I think it was Pastor Bob or Pastor Samuel was like, "So, Norah, you're going to share some words." And I was like, well, what do I talk about? And earlier that morning, I think it was, I was talking about how God gave me a sense of peace going on this trip, and I prayed about like taking away my anxiety about it, and he did that, and he gave me a peace. So I talked about that, and then Dad's sermon kind of talked about a little bit of what I was talking about, which didn't plan that at all. So that was really cool to see that. But,
I assure you, Norah, it was Pastor Samuel who asked you to do that that
morning. I couldn't remember exactly who it was.
It was him.
Okay. I think I jumped in pretty quick and said, yes, you are.
Yes, he did.
I supported the motion, but I didn't make the motion.
Well, that's really neat that they kind of tied together. And, just hearing you, I mean, that takes great courage to do that and to stand up and be able to share. I
think I had put them to sleep already, so it was pretty easy for her just to get up there.
Is that the deal?
I don't know.
Very nice. So I was curious, Norah.
Yes.
What surprised you the most about the culture there?
Okay, the biggest thing was I was not expecting them to speak a lot of Ugandan, because when I first was thinking about the trip, or like people were like, yeah, they speak a lot of English. So I was like, oh, so like they all speak English. English is like their main language. No, they like speak a lot of Ugandan, which was super cool to hear. Even though I didn't understand a word that they were saying, except for Mzungu.
Yeah, what was that? What was that again?
White people, white travelers.
White traveler.
Again, that's what we were told. We don't know for sure.
When you're driving by people like in the city and in slow, you'll hear them say Mzungu, Mzungu, and that's white traveler.
Really okay. Yeah, is that just like them pointing out you?
Well, there's not a lot of white people around, so and I think that's just a way to be pointed out. And of course, the kids still love to feel your skin to see if that white rubs off. And so I warned Norah about that they'll be doing that to her often, as they still do it to me.
Interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, it was really cool to hear their language, but that was one of the things that surprised me most, which seems kind of silly that it surprised me the most, but yeah. And just seeing how welcoming the people were, especially because they don't like know us personally, like they know who we are, but we don't have a personal relationship with them. Well, now we do, but at least I didn't.
And you felt like maybe you had seen them many times before.
Yes.
That's a neat
experience. You know what's interesting about personalities of people, and so this is interesting to see across the cultures. So, in the United States, I would say if I walked around in church on Sunday, there are certain people who convey an attitude of, yeah, you can talk to me. I used to describe it as they're open for business. Okay. You can approach them. And then there's other people that you see and it's like, no, don't go over to them.
Sure.
everybody in Uganda is open for business. I mean, there's just no one that is there that isn't. They're wanting to be hospitable. They'll hug you. They want to greet you, and they'll even work through the weirdities of not knowing the language enough. I mean, some people don't know any English. And so it's literally they'll grab your hand and shake it on both hands. And, people knew who I was, for instance, but they don't know what to say. So they just grab my hand and shake my hand. I could tell that they're appreciative and glad to see you. That can't help but bless you. And even in our hotel, good grief, these people were kind to us.
Yes.
Everybody in the hotel lobby, you would have thought that we were family every day when we walk back in. So it's very nice.
That's neat. Are you guys the only people in this hotel, or was it around?
No, there was others, but there weren't a lot in there. I mean, Masaka isn't necessarily a vacation spot for world travelers.
Sure.
But it was a nice place, and we enjoyed it.
Did you all find your mosquito netting on the bed?
Nora did not have.
At first, I didn't have one, and then the second day, I walked into the room and I was expecting like a mosquito net that like covered the whole bed. I had like a little princess, it's like a hot pink, like a princess.
It was a smaller hoop.
Yeah, it was like a circle
Round.
instead of a square one.
She was like in a cocoon.
Oh,
yes, I was
okay.
like in a cocoon. So that was. There were a couple of nights where I just decided I'm not using this. I can't sleep well enough, and I need my sleep. So,
Yeah, of
or else
course.
I would have been grumpy.
So
We don't want
as
that.
you guys were talking about giving words in sermons or messages, they don't all speak English.
Yes.
Everything's translated.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, people like at the motel desk, they speak fluent English, so you
Yeah.
can speak to them. The housekeeping staff and things like that, they don't always speak English. But wherever we went, we were translated. My messages are all translated. Some understand, like Samuel. Samuel understands English perfectly,
Yeah.
but others don't. So,
Wow. So does Pastor Samuel do the translation, or does he have somebody there?
well, he did, for me, he did 90% of the translation. And I think mainly because we're kind of into a rhythm and because I speak more often, him and I can play off each other.
Okay.
I had a lady one time who was translating for me. And after, I think about 5 minutes, she looked at Pastor Samuel and said, "Can you do it?" And
Oh.
they did a little tag team that way. So I think I don't speak another language. So I admire these people to no end
Right.
that they can hear you and speak your words.
Yeah.
Well, and one of the things you guys brought over were study Bibles.
Yes.
So how they were in English, yes?
Yeah.
And so how is that helpful to them?
Well, it's very helpful to them. I was sharing in my Bible study this morning that they're like gold because the resources available to most of our pastors are very slim. So it's not as though they don't have access to internet, but it's not like internet is going to be in their place of residence. So they have to go somewhere. So, if they get internet, they can get on resources that, essentially we could find. And so I think we brought like a dozen study Bibles over, and Pastor Samuel was grappling with, do I just give them to certain pastors? And he decided they're going to give some of them away to the pastors who are a little bit further away, and that they would keep some of them just right there on the site so that people can come in and study. But most of them do not have resources that take them beyond just the reading of Scripture. And so I don't know what kind of a preacher I would be if I just had the Bible and none of the resources. So, yeah.
That's really interesting as I think about just the fact that we have the opportunity that we just have Bibles everywhere. I mean, we have multiple copies in our home, and the fact that they're treating this like it's a treasure. They're going to come here and study this. That's neat.
Yeah.
So, Kyle, I was curious. Was there any cultural practices there that you found particularly interesting or even maybe inspiring?
I wasn't expecting the inspiring part of the question.
Well, you can ask one or the other. It's
Okay. But the one thing that, or one of the many things that comes to mind is the handshake. Is, Pastor Bob talked about the double hands, but oftentimes when somebody would shake, especially my hand, I don't remember if the women did it with Nora, with the girls as much, but when the guys would shake hands, you'd shake and then you do kind of you'd shake normal, and then you'd flip up to almost like an arm wrestling shake, and then back to the hand, and then back to the arm wrestle, and then back. I mean, some people would do it depended on the person. Some people would do maybe a sequence of 3, And some people
So-
would not stop until you put your hands in your pocket.
Yeah.
But just that contact
Mhm.
and just the eye contact, you
Yeah.
could just feel that they wanted to connect deeply with you.
That's neat.
I never had any woman do that handshake to me, but most of the men would do that.
Okay.
Usually I would get the hugs from women.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Neat.
Yeah.
Okay, so then this question is for all of you, so you can decide, who wants to answer first.
Okay.
But when you go on these heart trips or the mission trips in general, one of the questions is, how was your faith impacted? So
Yeah.
personally, how did this impact you?
That's a good question. For me, we were sitting in the lobby having our morning devotions one morning, and another gentleman that was staying at the hotel, he was, I'm assuming Ugandan. He was definitely African. I'm just not sure what country, but he overheard our conversations. And so as he was leaving, he just said, "We just need hope."
Mhm.
And what I've been thinking through since then was hope, the hope in Christ as our Savior is what puts us all on the level playing field in God's eyes. So it doesn't matter if you're in a concentration camp or if you're in Uganda or if you're living in a mansion in America. If you don't have hope in Jesus Christ, then you're not part of God's family. And so spreading that hope through the Great Commission is something that really got opened up into my eyes in this trip of how everyone is on the same playing field.
No, that's good.
Yeah. I'd say this also in Mexico, I realized how little they had and how they're grateful for every single thing that they have, and we can get caught up on being, I need more, I need more, I need more. I need to be happy or to be happy, I need this, I need this, I need this. And being in Uganda, I realized that you don't need this to have a relationship with Jesus. You don't need this to have hope. You don't need this to feel loved. And that was really big for me, a big impact on me, because I often get caught up in the thinking like, like I need this to be this. And just seeing how big their faith is when they have little, because when you have everything but you don't have Jesus, you have nothing, and when you have nothing and you have Jesus, you have everything.
It's really
good.
where your security
Yeah.
lies, right?
Yeah.
What are you secure in?
That's great. Good.
I think for me, still the thing that I realize most when I'm there is it could just be summed up with this phrase: "It's not about me." And God created us to enjoy Him, to glorify Him, to enjoy Him forever. And yet, when I'm in a situation, or the 2 weeks that we're there, whatever, every day I wake up, it's not about me. It's not about my comfort. Everything is different. I mean, it's not bad. It's just different. My shower is different. I didn't have a mirror in my bathroom. Walking around the floors, everything is different. And I just always remind, it's not about me. And the fact of the matter is this: we're staying in a motel room. A lot of the people that we have, even Pastor Samuel's kids, they don't have beds.
Yeah.
I mean, they have mattresses on the floor, and they're not. I wouldn't say that they're complaining about that, because they have mattresses and they live in a house with that doesn't have dirt floors. But everywhere I look, it's not about me. I may not think that the food is the best it's not about me. The measurement of time isn't like how we measure time. It's not about me. And so that is really, really, really good for me, because we like to say when we're in America, well, it's not about me and I'm not a selfish person. And I realize when I go there, I'm incredibly selfish.
Yeah.
So often I want things to go my way. And so that is just a real jolt for me. And I'm grateful for the blessings God has given me. I don't think God gave us blessings so that we would be apologizing for them all the time, but I think about them differently, much differently. And I would say not just because I'm 3 days having landed from Uganda, but really since the first time in 2003, when I went to Africa for the first time, turned my heart inside out.
Mm.
And it was one of the greatest resets in my life ever.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
That's
All
good.
good thoughts. So on the same vein of, how was your faith impacted? Where did you see God working on your trip?
One of so when we were traveling, we were both like, not both, we were all scared of like, are they gonna open up these suitcases and find like a bunch of toys and be like, what are these for? What
Mhm.
are you doing with this? So we're like, what if this happens? Like, what are we gonna do with that?
Mhm.
They only asked to see 3 suitcases and opened up one
Mm.
on the way there, and that was really good. Like, they didn't have to take
Mhm.
anything. So I was
And we had 23 just
yeah,
for the
we had
record.
Wow.
23 suitcases, and
That's
that's
a lot.
yeah. So that was yeah, that was God working, and yeah. And then on the way back, we brought a bunch of coffee bags, and we were like, well, what if they're not gonna like this? Like, what if
Mm.
we can't bring this back? Because what
Mhm.
we were doing with the coffee is Pastor Samuel makes the coffee, and right now they can't sell the coffee because is it Brazil?
Brazil.
Brazil made a bunch of
The
it.
price is way
Yeah,
down.
They
the
dumped
price
them-
is way down.
yeah.
So they can't make a profit out of that. So we
Mhm.
brought back like $200 worth of
About 50
coffee.
pounds of coffee.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we're selling that and to make a profit for them, and then all the proceeds will go to Pastor Samuel and his ministry. So I don't think we had any rough patches with that.
Nope.
So
That's
one of the
awesome.
ladies smelled it and was like, "Bring back some coffee." We were like,
And
"Yeah."
I said, no, it's great coffee because it's Ugandan coffee.
Yes.
And she just smiled and it just went down the road. Nice, nice.
Uh-huh. So that was
Wonderful.
really good and like just God working.
Mhm.
And yeah, that wasn't like a big thing, but like it was God working that. Like
But you
we
saw
could,
God working,
yeah,
which I think was
yes,
cool.
we could bring back the stuff for
Mhm.
the children and for his ministry.
That's awesome. Yeah.
For me, not long ago, they had some sound equipment stolen. And I
Yeah.
don't remember exactly which church it was
Mhm.
because all the churches we went to were, they either had it replaced or they were borrowing, whatever the case was. It didn't seem to phase them.
Mhm.
And you couldn't tell any reservation with either the pastors or the congregants. No one seemed to say, hey, we just had stuff stolen. We really need to tighten things down.
Yeah.
It was still just a free
Mhm.
accepting of anybody that came in. And it was just that was one thing that really impacted me too. And I could see God working through the people. We had at Bethel on Sunday a new convert that accepted Jesus,
Mm.
and he will be going through basically a class
Mhm.
the next few weeks, and then he'll be baptized.
Yeah, and he
So-
was originally Muslim,
That's correct.
so that was
Oh.
really cool to see.
That
Mhm.
is.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So a few things that I saw that just a little bit of an advantage having been there twice now. I remember meeting with a group of pastors the first night I was there in 2024. And we sat around a table in a little kind of gazebo at the hotel.
Mhm.
And Pastor Samuel translated, and I was just there for them to ask questions about church. I had no idea what they were going to ask,
Mhm.
but they asked questions that could have been me sitting with a group of pastors here in Pella or Knoxville or whatever.
Mhm.
I just happened to be the old guy, so they were just asking questions based upon my experience.
Mhm.
How do you deal with people? How do you welcome people? How do you deal with problems in the church? I mean, stuff like this. And so the first meeting that we had this time too, we had a bunch of pastors in the living room of Pastor Samuel's home, and they were sharing about things that they had learned from that original meeting
Mm.
and how they were trying to do that. And I remember one of the things I said, you got to be a loving church. You got to be a church. I talked about vitamin H and just
Yeah.
making everybody feel welcome.
Mhm.
And because they weren't always doing that.
Mhm.
And then another thing Pastor Samuel said to me, his observations here when he came to the United States is he says, I love to see pastors lifting up other pastors.
Mhm.
And he saw this with our sending network pastors. I mean, we want everybody to succeed.
Mhm.
So that's one of the things he says. It's been incredible. So many pastors have said to him, Pastor Samuel, we don't always lift up other pastors because they're all they don't all have resources. So it's like every man's for themselves.
Mhm.
But Pastor Samuel, because he's been a conduit of such blessing, not just from our church, but other churches, he uses those funds not to keep for himself or just to keep for his little church, but he's always building up other pastors.
Mhm.
And that's a beautiful work of the Lord.
Yeah.
Because, again, selfishness is a curse to us.
Mm-hmm.
But when we don't hold on and clasp these things, but we just give them away, it's an amazing thing. And then one last thing, and this is involving a building. So the very last thing I did when I was there in 2024, I was sitting in this building on the compound of Pastor Samuel, and it was just an ugly room.
Mm-hmm.
And it had a half wall here, and by half I mean it was kind of knocked over wall, and it had like a dirt floor. And I said, what does it take to get this room looking nicer for the preschool? Because there was actually a preschool class that would meet in here.
Mm-hmm.
I said, this is not good. We can fix this, okay? Now, we're not going to come over and build it. They don't need us to build it. But does it cost $500 to redo this? Does it cost $1,000? How can we do this?
Mm-hmm.
And then later, Pastor Samuel told me, actually, when he was here last fall, he said, Pastor Bob, that was a good challenge to us because we have people that don't want to send their kids to our preschool because it looks junky.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter how good the teachers are, and they have a great staff.
Mm-hmm.
So this time, I'm wondering, where is it? He says, I want to show you the new nursery school.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm thinking, where is it? Where is it? Well, we walked down the block. This was a bean field that they owned before. And by bean field, it's not so big,
Mm-hmm.
but a whole new structure has been put up.
Mm-hmm.
It really does look beautiful.
It does. And I was looking on either Google Maps or some map program, and it's not even on the satellite image yet. It's that new.
But here's the deal. And what they do, and this is God working, they are able to squeeze more out of a dollar than we could ever squeeze out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so Pastor Samuel so when we send him support, when he gets support from, Pastor Andrew at Celebrate Church, they give him, money regularly too. I'm just amazed at how God has laid on their hearts to do what is right at the right timing to keep the gospel advancing. And there's a good thing going on there. In other words, this investment in eternity really seems to be turning into fruit very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And that just blesses our hearts.
That's great. Well, as Pastor Bob had talked about, he's been to Uganda a couple times, and just the relationships there, and they know him, Pastor Bob, as he was talking about. I'm curious, Norah, did you make any special connections while you were there?
So Pastor Samuel has 5 biological kids, and his 3 younger ones I saw the most. Technically, his 2 youngest ones I saw the most, but then he had the 2 oldest ones come from boarding school, and the second oldest, her name is Hannah. She is 14 years old, so my age, and we made a really special connection. So that was really fun to become friends with her. And then I became friends with his 3 youngest ones, Esther, Joy, and David, or we call DK. And Joy is a joy. It was so fun. I would walk into the room, she comes, give me a hug, gives me the biggest smile. It was such a blessing. So
they loved Norah.
They absolutely did.
Yeah.
And I've got a couple videos of Joy teaching you how to dance.
Yes, I was not very good at it.
Well, which is funny because of all of my 4 children, you're our best dancer. But it pales in comparison to how they dance.
They are amazing dancers. We were at the school and they gave us a dance, both schools, the nursery school and the primary school.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really cool to see all these little kids doing like these crazy dances. I was like, I cannot dance that good.
I have to say, when we were at the nursery school, and literally in the nursery school, they have 3 levels, 3, 4, and 5. They have names for them, but they teach them how to dance.
Yes.
So to see these 3-year-olds doing their kind of hip thrusts there, and the whole thing is they're literally teaching them how to dance because this is how you worship.
Yeah.
They're not preparing to go to some junior high dance with girls. They're using dance completely to praise the Lord.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and after one morning, we were in the nursery school and they did a dance. And I said, how long did you guys practice? 7 days.
Yeah.
So that was another thing that
Wow.
really shocked me with their culture is if they know visitors are coming, they plan.
Yes.
They really do a good job planning ahead.
I think it's ironic that you use the word plan because if I remember right, in several updates, time was not maybe watched very much in that culture.
I don't know. It's interesting. Well, one of the things that Pastor Samuel said is they don't need watches in Uganda because again, on the equator, the sunrise and sunset is so consistent that they just kind of have a better feel for what time it is during the day.
Interesting. Okay.
He may have been joking. I don't know.
I don't know. It doesn't sound like Pastor Bob to elaborate on anything.
That was
like
Pastor
that.
Samuel.
Oh, Pastor Samuel.
Yes.
If it was Pastor Bob, I would know for sure it was a joke.
Yes, no, for sure it was teasing. Okay, so we need to get into just like the nitty gritty. People are going to want to know.
Oh, okay.
How was the food?
Okay. So I'm a very picky eater, and there were like some foods that were like really good, but I could not eat that much, and that was traveling, and I had like some stomach issues beforehand before the trip. So that was my stomach was really off. So like they would keep on offering me food. I'm like, I cannot eat anymore. But there was like this. They love bananas because they have a bunch of bananas in Uganda, and there was like this. They cooked the banana into like matoke. I didn't try it. I was way too scared.
What is matoke?
I don't even
Wasn't
know
it
how
like
to
a
explain
Cooked
it.
bananas.
Yeah.
And they
banana.
cook
like-
them in the banana leaves.
And
Oh.
they would like wrap it and it would just like plop onto like it was the grossest thing ever. I could not. Like I love that they love it, but I could not.
Did you have
Like-
a favorite food if that was not
They
it?
had like these like I don't even know what they called, but they're almost tortillas and they were so good.
Okay.
Mhm.
They had macaroni and cheese one night.
Yes, that was really
I mean, it was
good.
just, they didn't call it that. They just
No.
called it pasta, but it was probably as close to
Yeah.
a good box of
Yeah.
macaroni and cheese
I love
here.
mac and cheese, so it was like
Now, it's
Okay.
just interesting. I just got to qualify a little bit because Nora was right. Her stomach was on edge. And I did warn people. I said, please don't. This is not a time to go out on a limb with foods that might make you feel uncomfortable. I certainly paid a price for that on my last trip. But I will say, when we got in Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam and we saw the McDonald's, rarely have you seen a human being devour a cheeseburger
Okay, the
as
thing
quick
is-
as all bets were off for Nora and the
Yeah.
I
cheeseburger.
have not had McDonald's for like 6 years, and I just wanted a cheeseburger. I wanted a cheeseburger so bad, so I was like, McDonald's it is. So I ran to McDonald's. I was
She had
like,
McDonald's
okay, cheeseburger,
twice.
fries. Yes, I had McDonald's when we were going there. I actually was not feeling the best, so I had a vanilla milkshake because my throat was hurting, and fries. That was really good. But yeah, I had a cheeseburger for breakfast.
Yeah, for breakfast.
Well, how about you and
Yeah.
food?
So the food was good.
Yeah.
We had Chef Laubin and Anna that came and lived at the complex. So they cooked for us. I'm not overly picky, I wouldn't say, but there were a few things I did not sample.
Okay.
Also, but overall, it was good. It
We
was
had
good.
was it goat stew? I don't know,
Yeah.
but it was
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
But I was like, I could not. When I was like thinking of eating the goat, I was like, I was like gagging. I was like, I can't do this. I feel like I'm gonna throw up. But
Well,
it was
talk
good.
about the juice.
Oh, the passion fruit juice. It was so good. I
Okay.
love the passion fruit juice. So that was
Freshly
it-
squeezed, I'm sure.
It's funny with food, you know, and what will. I mean, it's very different than anything. It's not like, I mean, some people think they're branching off when they have Mexican food in America.
Yeah.
I mean, this is nothing like that.
Sure.
And so every day we had a bigger meal at lunch.
Yes.
And lunch is kind of relative. Normally you eat about 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. And they bring everything out in the kettle or the pan that they've cooked it in. And it was just laid across, and we just took from that. We asked what things were. And, you know, somebody could say, well, this is lasagna. And let me just say, when you put it in your mouth, it's nothing
Not
like
lasagna. Not
lasagna
Italian.
that we have. Pizza, not really like what we have.
Sure.
And so I agree with Nora. The matoke is something that kind of crosses my threshold that I'm not going there.
Yeah.
They have a lot of fruit, you know, so pineapple every meal. I like pineapple. That's a big thing in Uganda. Watermelon, like that. I shy away from passion fruit and mango personally. And
passion fruit was
and
so good.
I'm so glad that Nora liked the juice. I've never been a person that likes to floss after I drink juice, and that juice was thick. And
The mango was. The passion fruit
I didn't
wasn't
really
as
like
thick.
the mango. It was too like milky.
But what was fun for me was
Yeah.
supper, which we oftentimes ate somewhere around 7:30. We always ate supper late.
Yep.
But then they'd have one of the things Patty and I were able to provide for Samuel and Stella after he came last time was a microwave. I was very thankful for that microwave because the microwave created a staple at every supper. It was popcorn.
Oh,
And so they had a
very
bowl
nice.
of popcorn with a big spoon in it. And
Yeah.
man, I just spooned that popcorn on so I'd get my vegetables every night. And I love that. And, Yeah, and then Kyle had a birthday while we were there, and they made a cake for him.
They did.
And sang happy birthday, and they gave him the flowers.
That's right. And I learned how to receive the flowers.
You received the flowers.
Is
That's
there a
right.
special method to receiving the flowers?
Yes, you got to do this.
Wave
We
your
do that
fingers
to
towards
you,
you.
and you do this to us.
Very
There we
nice.
go.
What kind of cake are we talking here?
It was Ugandan cake.
Okay.
So I'm not sure exactly what it was.
It almost was like carrot cake and like some other cake. It looked like orange and green.
Okay,
It looked
yeah.
chocolate kind of in the pictures, and it wasn't.
And one day we
It
went
was
out for
not
ice
chocolate.
cream,
No.
which was really interesting because first we went to a place that was really busy. And so pastors, I mean, it's not like there's ice cream on every corner by any means.
Right.
That's right.
And he knew how much we loved ice cream because he'd been to Jersey Freeze, Frosty Utter,
Oh,
to
sure.
Scoop, all these places. So he said, let's go out for ice cream on Sunday afternoon, late Sunday afternoon. So the one place couldn't handle us. So let's go back to this place called Banda. And I had gone to dinner with Stella and Samuel at this place. A Swedish guy owns it. And anyway, we went there. They said, well, we're so sorry.
Yeah.
We're all out of a lot of our flavors. So all we have is mango and strawberry ice cream. Now, in the culture that I come from, that would then require, like, Kyle, would you like mango or strawberry? But that wasn't the case. So suddenly I think we had like 12, 13 people there.
Yeah.
All these bowls came out with a scoop of mango and a scoop of strawberry and chocolate sauce all over it. Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah.
But it was good and it was fun. And you know what? It's just and such a treat to those kids to go out for ice cream.
Oh, I bet.
Yep.
And so, yeah, what a blessing.
Well, I mean, I love hearing this too, but I do want to leave a little bit for your time on Sunday.
Oh, there's so much
Yeah,
more.
there's so much more.
so
I
much
know.
more.
Like we could go on for a really long
10
time.
minutes just on food.
But I think it's safe to say that you guys would go back to Uganda on your trip.
Not this week, but
Not this
in the
week.
future.
No.
In the future.
Maybe once my back is healed
Okay.
and my organs are all back into
Right, all your
place.
organs. Yes, I heard about your bumpy rides.
Yes. Oh.
So I was curious if you could give people advice to maybe that they or you would want to share to get somebody excited about going.
That's a
I don't
great
know where
question.
to start. Yeah.
I would say, even if you don't enjoy different cultures, even if you don't enjoy travel, which the jet lag portion of it was the most scary to me. The change that it has on you is worth everything.
Yeah.
We spent a little more on vaccinations than what we thought we would. We spent, everything adds up. So it does. It is a commitment, or as the people in Uganda often said, that we sacrificed so much.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, we sacrificed, but I wouldn't say so much.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there is sacrifice, and it just pays in dividends to go and have the experience and see firsthand. We all have gotten to meet Pastor Samuel before when he came to visit. So seeing him in his own environment with all of the pastors that he supports, I didn't realize there's over 20. I think there's around 20 pastors that is in his network, and just an incredible experience.
Yeah, I echo everything that Kyle just said. And, just a couple things to go with that. We read a book as a consistory a couple years ago on missions, and it was very good. And one of the things that it said to the local church in America, one of the greatest things you can do to encourage your missionaries is send teams to visit them. Nothing more than visiting them, not to build things for them, but just visit them, because truly there's nothing better than that they could feel and see and experience that you're their partners. Yes. That pierced my heart.
Yeah.
And so I thought, we can do that. I mean, people go on vacations. We have more disposable income, most people do, than ever before. I love traveling with my wife. I've got a lot of vacations that we've gone on, but I can't imagine now not doing things like this until I die, because it's so valuable. And just like we all have our friends, Scott and Becky Dykstra and their kids in Japan, we can't go visit them yet just because they're new there. But who wouldn't want to go there if we knew that they knew? It would be so encouraging to see you.
Right.
Who would say, no, we're not coming? And so this is a beautiful thing. I look forward, the Lord willing, in the next couple of years to go to Romania, to other missionaries that we have. And that's such a blessing. And you know what? Kyle touched on fears a little bit. The bottom line is it's not an expensive trip, really, when you look at what it costs to go on tours and this and that.
Yeah.
I would say if you have any strength in your body to do this, go out on a limb with God. Experience some of the inconveniences of traveling to a place like this. As I already said, I'm not crazy about it, okay? I navigate it every day, and I trust the Lord, and it's been so good for my soul. And I think it makes me a better pastor, makes me, a better follower of Christ. So, yeah, I really want to encourage people.
That's great.
How about somebody of your age, Nora?
That's what I was curious. Yeah.
What?
Somebody high school or younger?
Oh, yeah.
What would...
I don't know. I'd say, well, I didn't know who all was going. I knew that, Dawn was going for sure. So yeah, I didn't know that nobody my age was going, which it was good overall. Just being with people who weren't my age, and being able to make friends with people in Uganda that were my age. But yeah, just don't have if God opens the door for you, go through that door, because he will do great things with that. And yeah, I'm so glad that I went through that door, and yeah, I got to make really good relationship with other people that you wouldn't think of.
I love it. Well, yeah, I think, it was great just even in this room, the generations that we have that are all on the trip. Plus there was some others, too. And I think that is a beautiful.
So you're saying young, medium, and old. That's what you're saying.
What I'm saying.
Okay, I get it.
That's what I'm saying. So before we close it out, any last thoughts from those that you want to share?
Hey, come on the 17th. Hear more from everybody, and we're just we really, really, really want to further enrich the relationship we have with Pastor Samuel and the people of Uganda. I've got Ashley, who's working here this summer. She's preparing a whole wall over by my office I just want to bring faces now, because we got all these pictures. I want to bring faces to people so they know, hey, here's the people we're supporting. These are real people. I only wish that we could send mail to them, of which we can't. But, I just want to keep the communication up, because they love us so much. And the more we get to know them, the more that'll increase from this side. So
absolutely. Well, then Sunday we are still, where are we at? Preaching. What are we preaching in?
We're still in Dear John letters for a couple more weeks before we begin a new series. So, come this week. It's going to be another great time to worship and praise the Lord together.
That's right. Well, thank you, Kyle and Norah, for jumping on.
Yes.
And friends, church is at 9:30, and we'd love to see you.
Yeah, we want to see you. Thanks for listening.